Kent, which new Big Ten team will first win the Big Ten championship? I'll say tournament or regular season, either one. And then who will finish last in the Big Ten first? So last year we had Michigan finish last. Years before that, we've had teams like Minnesota, Northwestern. Northwestern's not been last. Were they last 1 year under Chris Collins? They were
I don't
near
think
last
so.
1 year. Maybe they weren't last, but it's Washington, Oregon, UCLA, USC. Kent, I'll ask you for which team will win the conference tournament or win the regular season Big Ten crown first?
I think the easier question to answer is the regular season Big Ten crown, because there's a little more consistency around the types of teams that win that year in and year out. The Big Ten tournament, anyone can get hot for a couple games, and there could be some upsets on the other side of the bracket and what have you, and anyone could really win that if they have like a top 5, top 7 type team. You can go on a run. So that one's tough to answer, but I'll start with the regular season one. I think it's UCLA. I think it's UCLA that has the team that's built the best to outright win a regular season title. And I base most of that off of the fact that I think they could win this year. I think they're one of those teams that are in the top 5. I'll say they're top 5 for teams I think could win the conference this year, regular season. And I also base it off the coaching. So you look at those 4 teams, you have Danny Sprinkle. I don't think that he's in line to win one anytime soon. And then Dana Altman, mixed reviews on him. I just don't think it's going to be quicker than either one of these other 2 guys. I think Musselman could
tournament this past year.
He won the tournament?
Yeah, he won the tournament.
Okay. Yeah, that's different. Did he win the Pac-12 though?
No. They were 4th seed in the tournament. They beat Colorado in the tournament championship. Who'd they beat? That's a big. Arizona was the big team they beat to get there. Anyway, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's a big indicator right there. What you just said, they beat Colorado. Like, come on, man, you're in the Big Ten now. Colorado was all right, but this is the Big Ten now. This is gonna be tough to win a regular season title, I think. So really, to me, it came down to Musselman or Cronin, and I think that I just pick UCLA because I think they could do it quicker, and it's because of Cronin, and it's because of the team that they have already built for this season.
Yeah, I totally agree on regular season. I think they have a really good shot of winning the Big Ten regular season this year. We're going to get into some odds later, and that will kind of reveal that. But I think they have a really good shot this year, and I think that UCLA plays a Big Ten-friendly brand of basketball where they would be able to last the entire season. Not predicting them to win the Big Ten this year, but they have a good shot at it. And I think the way Mick Cronin runs his program, I think they could have a good shot at it again the year after that, and possibly a couple years after that as well. So eventually, as long as Mick Cronin stays at UCLA, which I don't see why he wouldn't, they seem to have a good shot in my mind to win the regular season. However, Eric Musselman, bit of a wild card. Guy can really recruit. He's brought in some really good players this year. I don't think they're going to win it this year, but the way he's able to recruit and bring players in could happen in the future. But if I'm going with a team that can win the conference tournament, like I said, I'm looking at Oregon to be that possibility. Dana Altman is a legendary coach. I mean, he has some of the most wins of any active coach right now. I don't think he has the most. I think Bill Self might have him beat. I got to look that up to remember for sure. But he's up there in the most wins. And like I said, they won the Pac-12 last year, but the 2 years before that, UCLA did make it to the Pac-12 championship game. They did not win the Pac-12 championship in the tournament, that they did make it to that game the 2 years prior to that. Oh, and Oregon also won it in 2019. So,
but I was going to say, I was going to add to that too. UCLA does have a history of winning in tournaments, though. Like right. they've made deep runs in the actual tournament, so it wouldn't surprise me if they came over to the Big Ten and they started making runs as like a 3 seed or a 5 seed or whatever, and wound up in a few Big Ten tournament championship games. So it's an interesting question to think about too, because of the dynamic of the sport now with how fast everything changes. Like I'm thinking about like Washington in football right now for whatever reason, but like Michigan in basketball, for example. They could go from a shot away from a Final Four to last place in the conference in just a year and a half. Like it happens that quickly. So it's hard to measure like 5 years out what's really going to happen. But if you're looking at the next 2 years, I would say that it's UCLA for both. I would feel comfortable picking them for either one of those questions, and then Oregon or USC for the tournament. And I would feel comfortable picking Washington as not winning either before any of those teams. I feel like just the way right now, that's how I feel.
Yeah, no, and I think like it's weird because I pulled up the Pac-12 conference tournament and would just like thought to myself, when was the last time UCLA won the Pac-12 conference tournament? Obviously, this is different than the Big Ten, but I looked it up. The last time UCLA won the Pac-12 conference tournament, not got a win in it, they won the entire thing, was 2008. Every single other Pac-12 team on this list has won the Pac-12 tournament since then. USC won it in 2019. Washington went back-to-back in 2010 and 2011 as a 3 seed both years. And then, I apologize, 2014 they won it. I'm stupid. 2014 they won it. But still, Oregon has won the Pac-12 tournament 1, 2, 3, 4 times since then. I mean, that's... Oh, no, I'm stupid. There's one more. 3 times.
Come on, JR. You got this. You got this.
It's July, man. I can't count tonight, apparently. But yeah, 3 times since then. So, I mean, it's kind of a long shot. It's kind of a dark horse because I think in this next question, we're going to possibly talk about Oregon a little bit. But in my mind, Oregon, they might do it. I mean, they've won the Pac-12 championship as a 4 seed, as a 6 seed. Or no, sorry. 4 seed, 1 seed, and a 6 seed. Yeah. So,
that kind of makes what like the point that I was trying to say is that anybody that's in that top 7 just has to get on a run, here at the end of the year, and they can win the Big Ten tournament. And it just makes it really interesting. I don't know because you could pick any one of those 3 teams, but for some reason I'm more leaning UCLA still, just because I've seen them make such deep runs in the actual tournament. I think they could do it now that they're in a big boy conference with us.
And I can't argue with it. Like I said, I think UCLA fits into the Big Ten probably the best out of these 4 teams. So if you fit in well and you have tournament success just in the regular tournament, not the Pac-12 tournament, can't really argue with it.
Right.
Philip says, how many of the new teams miss the Big Ten tournament? I assume he's meaning this year. The Big Ten tournament will only be 14 teams, so 4 teams will not make the Big Ten tournament this coming year. Kent, I'll send it to you first. Do you think any of these teams will not make the Big Ten tournament this year?
I don't think Washington will make it. I feel really confident about that, actually. Yeah. I could be wrong. Maybe they'll sneak in as like a 10 seed. I don't know. And also, just as a side note, real quick, can we figure out a way to get everybody in? As a person that attends the Big Ten tournament every year, there has got to be a way we set this bracket up so that I get to see all the teams play. I might not be able to see Washington play in person this year unless they make the Big Ten tournament. And if they miss it, I just don't get to see them play live this year.
Okay.
That's just how it goes.
Counter, okay? Not everybody makes the tournament, but the teams that don't make the tournament are forced to go to the tournament and watch the entire thing. Like up in the nosebleeds where like nobody else is. So like you can't really see them up there. So if they're on their phones or they're like, messing around with each other, they're not going to get in trouble or anything like that. But it is kind of funny that you're like, oh, these 14 teams made it. But, there's Danny Sprinkle up there. He's already been fired, but he has to go to the Big Ten tournament because he doesn't get his contract money unless he goes. I don't know.
I would also like to submit that the teams have to sit by me too. So like double punishment. They have to listen to me like heckle the whole time, and like watch me drink and like just say obnoxious stuff, and
they can't drink.
Yeah, no, they can't drink, and they have to laugh at all my jokes, everything I say that is borderline funny. They have to laugh, so all that has to happen if they miss the tournament. No, I do wish that all the teams were there though. I wish I could see them all play because that was what the fun part about it is. You watch them all year, and then I go at the end of the year, and I get to see them in person, and it's like, oh, bummer. I'm not going to see 4 of the teams this year, but that's fine. I would say that this year, though, it would be Washington, and if I had to pick a second team, which I don't think any of the other 3 will miss, but I think I would say USC. Right? If you had to pick a second team?
Maybe. I don't know. Eric Musselman is such a wild card to me. I think he enters the Big Ten as a top 5, top 6 coach in the Big Ten, but he also takes over for USC, and he's bringing some guys with him from Arkansas. He's bringing a couple recruits, but it's not really, looking like the best roster in the world to me. So, could Eric Musselman, could he have another good year where he coaches well, or are we gonna have rumors swirling that his players are, interacting with each other
Right.
again? I don't,
Right.
I don't know how else to put it. I don't want to talk about,
Yeah.
but are we gonna have more of that? So I don't know. Like, he's such a wild card to me. He could win the Big Ten tournament, take his shirt off, and throw it above his head. Or he could miss the Big Ten tournament, and we'll see pictures of him crying at on USC's floor. I mean, it's such a wild card to me. I have no idea what to predict.
Yeah.
Sonny says, "Missed you, JR. Miss you too. Missed you." Did I have a responsibility I was supposed to go to with you, Sonny? If I did
No, he's
today.
just saying that he missed you, like he's missed this show, I think. And he does this on purpose to leave me out of stuff and try to hurt my feelings. This is what he's doing.
I want to make sure I didn't agree to be on Locked On with him or something like
Nope.
that. Nope. I just missed it.
Or maybe, I mean, that's also a possibility, but I
think I
think he's just trying to take a jab at me.
He's
And it's
got-
hurting my feelings. You know what, Sonny? It's starting to affect me.
Yeah. Go talk about your feelings with somebody, Kent, and we'll see. Philip Must Bus needs a new transmission. See, that's the thing. Like, I could see Eric Musselman, like I said, just having a terrible season, and the USC hire is not going well, or I could see everything going really well. I don't know. It's a wild card for me. So, the other question I had, and I don't know how much time we'll spend on this, but which new Big Ten team will finish last in the conference first? So, which Big Ten team overall regular season? Obviously, we can't do conference because not everybody's going to make the conference tournament, but finish completely last in the Big Ten. I feel like it's probably Washington. What say you, Ken?
I think it's Washington as well, but I would like to submit that if what you just brought up a few minutes ago did happen and Mick Cronin left UCLA, I think that program would fall apart a little bit and there would be a chance that they could finish in last place. I think he's that important to their basketball team. He's what makes them go. He's what makes recruiting go, and they would have to make a splash hire after him. Like if UCLA hired Sprinkle after Mick Cronin left, I think that they could have a real shot at finishing last. A hire like that, I'm saying. Yeah. So I'll say it's Washington right now, but if they don't finish last this year, then I feel like Danny will start getting things put together out there in Washington a little bit better, and then I wouldn't see any of these teams finishing last for a while. It's tough. It's tough to say that anyone would finish last.
Yeah, I'm not predicting Washington will finish last this year. I'm just saying, like, of these teams, which one will probably do it first? Like I said, probably Washington. Danny Sprinkle could be really good too. Obviously he had a good career, leading up to this, and as Philip is saying here, $2 million for Great Osibor to finish last. Not so great. You can't finish last when you have somebody on your team named Great, right, Ken?
Right. No, you can't do that. You got to be in the top half. I feel like if you have somebody named Great, you got to be great.
Immediate firing for Danny Sprinkle if they finish last with somebody on his team named Great.
No, I think you got to give him a year or two.
Yeah. All right. Well, they did give Great $2 million. So
because what if he gets somebody next year, named like I'm for sure going to win, like that's his name, like Winner is his name. Yeah.
Winner. All right, so I did look it up because I did want to check myself and make sure I was right. So Northwestern in 2019-2020, they finished second last in the Big Ten, so they did not actually finish last. Michigan finished last year. Nebraska has finished last multiple times. Minnesota has finished last once. And then what was this year?
This year was Michigan.
Oh, yeah. This year was Michigan. And the year before that was Ohio State. The year they were second to last. So good job, Chris Holtman. See ya.
I thought we were going to have some Chris Collins slander on here there for a second, and I was like, I can't stand for that. I thought you were going to say the COVID year was fake anyways, though, right? Wasn't that the COVID year? 19 and 20?
No, 19 and 20. So they had COVID started in March. So the March Madness was double madness.
But he knew COVID was coming, though, is what I'm trying to say. Like, he knew that was going to happen. We're talking about Chris Collins right now. Like, this guy can see the future.
Yeah.
So he was preparing for that mentally, yeah.
Yeah, that was his coaching sense. All right, Kent, I do apologize. 2018, 2019, Northwestern, 4-16 in the conference. They did finish last.
So, was Collins there then?
I think so.
Huh.
But Chris Collins, he's a changed man, okay? He got his Coach of the Year award, and he is completely new man. Yes, Chris Collins has been there since 2013, 2014, and his conference record has been 6 or more wins every year except for 2018, 2019. So
I hate to hear that.
Thank you.
I hate to hear that. I wasn't as big of a fan of his back then, though, so that might have a little bit of an impact on it as well. Like, once he knew that I was like kind of pulling for him, I think he started turning things around in a major way.
Yeah, you were far more casual back then.
Yeah. Now I'm just kind of casual.
Yeah.
I'm going to change my Twitter name to that, kind of casual Big Ten.
Each year, you got to get less casual.
Yeah. Like, just work on, like, eventually I'll be an expert.
Philip said 2021 was 2020, 2021 was no fans. Yes, they so it was the year right before that. So
must have been hot in those basketball stadiums with no fans, right?
Right. He just needed the reset of a no fan season, and boom, we have Chris Collins, Kent's best coach in the Big Ten. So can't be upset about that.
I think you just totally missed my fan joke, by the way.
No, what'd you say?
I said it must have been hot in those arenas with no fans.
Do they have fans in arenas to like blow at the top? I don't think I've ever seen them. They don't at Assembly Hall. It is hot in there, I'll tell you. I've gone to plenty of Assembly Hall games. Very hot in that arena.